There's been a lot of speculation lately about the relationship between Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her sister Mia. Now, if you remember, when Ken's sister Autumn entered the picture, and there was that whole big uproar, where she commented about Gypsy with the blanket video where Gypsy was tearing up the blanket, and then, there was all this back and forth because Autumn said she had met Gypsy and this baby Aurora, and Gypsy says they never met, and it was just a big mess. In some of those messages that Gypsy released, the text messages between the two, Gypsy had said something to the effect of, well, I have a sister and she wouldn't do this. And, I don't know, I don't remember the exact reason she gave, but first, Mia unfollowed Gypsy Rose. So Gypsy Rose, in turn, unfollowed Mia to give her some space, so she says. Now, I think the problem between them is, number one, Mia doesn't want to be associated with this schmurderer. But is Mia really any better? I mean, Mia had no problem cashing in on all this blood money that Gypsy made either. Because, Gypsy Rose gave Rod and Christy like $20,000 or something, saying that was for them taking care of her while she was in prison or whatever. And Mia, all of a sudden, was getting this nose job, the chin thing, and she completed her nursing degree. So I think Mia got her hands on some of Gypsy's blood money too, and had no problem utilizing that money. But I think, besides that, I think that Mia maybe kind of realized that, hey, I don't want all this. And if you remember, when Mia graduated nursing school, Gypsy was not there. She claims it's because she was pregnant at the time and this and that, but there was all those rumors going around that Mia didn't want her there, because then the whole thing would have turned into Gypsy Rose at Sister Mia's graduation, and it would have took the attention from Mia. And Mia did work hard to get where she's at. And, she has moved away. She's moved to Florida with, I'm drawing a blank on her fiance's name. I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, that's not important. I think what really the straw that broke the camel's back here was Mia's engagement. Mia specifically had told, everybody was told to wear white, because Mia thought this was just going to be some family pictures. And everybody was instructed to wear white. And what does Gypsy do? She shows up in a blue dress. That's ignorant in itself, because it was like she was trying to take the attention away from Mia. Everybody else is wearing white, so of course you're going to get noticed if you're wearing a blue dress. And then Gypsy Rose couldn't even give Mia a full 24 hours in the spotlight when Mia announced her engagement. Mia announced her engagement with the beautiful pictures and everything, and 1 hour later, not even a full hour, Gypsy Rose had to go on her 9.3 million follower TikTok and announce Mia's engagement. So almost everyone found out about Mia's engagement through Gypsy Rose. Not through Mia herself, because Gypsy could not even allow that girl to have the spotlight for 24 hours. Gypsy had to come in and snatch that away from her sister. But Gypsy has openly told us that Mia is her trigger, Mia triggers her because Mia grew up with Rod. And then Gypsy keeps trying to say that she looks more like Rod than Mia does. Gypsy looks nothing like Rod. So anyways, moving on. We're wondering, is Gypsy going to get an invite to the wedding? I wouldn't invite her, because it's just going to turn into some kind of, It's just going to turn into Gypsy Rose spotted at sister's wedding, and all the focus will be taken off of Mia and put onto Gypsy. So Mia, though, has announced some things about her wedding, her upcoming 2027 wedding. Things they will not be doing at their wedding. The first thing, they're not going to have a band. They're going to have a DJ instead. She says a band would have cost about $12,000, and they feel they could utilize that money somewhere else. I agree. Then, no assigned seating. Good for you. That'd just be a headache, trying to assign, you're going to sit here, you're sitting here. No. That'd be too much of a headache. Don't stress yourself out, girl. Just let them people sit where they want to sit. And then they're going to do no first look. they want to see each other for the very first time at the altar. They want that special moment. I like that. Now, this one was a little bit different. She says, no phones at the ceremony. Nah, I think a lot of people aren't going to like that. She says she's paying for a photographer and a videographer, and she doesn't want phones in the pictures. And she wants people to be present in the moment, not all on their phones. And so I wonder about this. Is she saying no phones because she is going to invite Gypsy, and she knows if Gypsy's allowed a phone at the ceremony, Gypsy's going to probably go. She'll probably be back on TikTok by 2027, I'm sure, because she never stays gone long. She's like a cockroach. She keeps coming back. And if Gypsy had a phone, she'd probably live stream right from the wedding and take the focus from Mia once again. So is that why Mia's saying no phones? And if Gypsy does go, is Gypsy going to be able to abide by that rule? No phone? I don't know. I think that might be a little smart way of Mia to play, so Gypsy cannot take the spotlight from her. Because really, she's going to almost has to invite Gypsy. I'm sure she's not going to make Gypsy no bridesmaid, though. Okay, this was kind of different. Mia says they're not going to say their vows in public. They're going to say their vows privately the morning of the ceremony. I thought that was kind of sweet. I've never heard of people doing that before. Have you ever heard of that? I like that, though. I do like that. They're not going to do a garter toss because Mia says she's uncomfortable with that. She doesn't want Andre, that's his name. She doesn't want Andre, lifting up her dress, removing the garter toss and all that. She says she's kind of uncomfortable with that. So we're not doing that. That's okay. They're not doing a choreographed, am I saying that right? First dance. They're just going to, go with it. I don't really care for those choreographed first dances either. I mean, I've not been to more than, I've never even been to a proper wedding. I'm 48 years old. I've never been to like a proper real wedding with a whole reception and all that. But I always found, I don't know, I think it's kind of cheesy when they do that whole choreographed dance. But now this is the last thing. And I can't help but wonder on this one. Is this one aimed towards Gypsy Rose? No kids. I don't see a problem with that either. At your wedding, they're probably going to serve alcohol. Because Mia, she's over 21. She likes to enjoy some drinks. That's not a problem. But no kids, because she doesn't want people, she wants people to enjoy themselves at the wedding and not be worried about their kids running around or, worrying about other people's kids running all around. Which makes me wonder, is that aimed at Gypsy? Because even in the engagement thing, when Gypsy posted, you see Aurora was kind of just making those noises, no speaking. And, that kind of even took the attention from Mia. Because you see her and Andre in the background, but we're focusing in on this baby, whoever it belongs to. So if Gypsy does go to the wedding, she's going to have absolutely no problem with no kids because she doesn't spend any time with that baby anyways. I don't think it's even her baby to begin with, but whoever's baby it is, she spends minimal amounts of time with it. So, what do you think, though? What do you think about Mia's list here? Do you think Gypsy's going to get an invite to Mia's wedding? Do you think Mia put some of these things in place to try to discourage Gypsy from showing up or to try to keep Gypsy in line? What's your thoughts on all of it?